Indonesian woman regains vision in both of her eyes after receiving cataract surgery from Tzu Chi. Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers revisit a girl and her younger brother who lost their parents years ago. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. Indonesia Timah members go regularly to Papua to hold a free clinic. Back in 2012, a woman received Tzu Chi's help to treat her right eye. This year, she went to Tzu Chi's free clinic once again to undergo cataract surgery in her left eye. Now she has regained vision in both of her eyes. Guiding the Tzu Chi volunteers to pass through the forest, Endermina Sayori leans on this paper field to raise her two children who have graduated from high school. However, her ability to be self-reliant is due to an enthusiastic physician in town who is the person in charge of a local health center and often visits each village. In 2012, he brought Endermina to Tzu Chi's free clinic to receive cataract surgery in her right eye.
Untuk saya itu panggilan hati.
I felt I was summoned by someone. Since I am far apart from my parents, I always treated seniors here as my own parents. I want to serve people and treat whoever is my patient as my own family member. Although there is no reward for doing this, I will continue to serve them with sincerity.
Rupanya tidak, saya tetap melayani dengan hati yang tulus. Ya, panggilan hati.
However, most people are unfamiliar and afraid of the word surgery. They prefer to coexist with the disease and not receive medical treatment.
I
told them that undergoing surgery is not as terrible as they have imagined. Instead, during surgery, all they need to do is close their eyes. They will not feel pain when the doctor performs operations.
Tutup saya dengan ini kain putih. Saat tidur lurus begini. Terada barang yang kenal mata baru gagap terada.
Seven years later, Endermina not only gave her testimony, but also underwent surgery again to treat her left eye. Thanks to the help of the medical team, now she has regained vision in both of her eyes. In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, there is a 64-year-old woman who lives alone. Because of her physical condition, she is unable to work and has received the government subsidy to get by for many years. After learning that she needed to move into a new place, Tzu Chi volunteers came to help her. Transporting household items carefully, Tzu Chi volunteers help Mrs. Yu, who lives alone, to move.
We often interact with her. This time, due to the rent, she has found a new place to live in. It's great.
64-year-old Mrs. Yu has been unable to work after a spine surgery. Over these past few years, she has received government subsidy to get by. Upon learning that she could not move on her own due to her physical condition, the volunteers immediately came to help.
All the Tzu Chi volunteers work with one heart to help her move into her new place.
Seeing that the volunteers have worked hard to help her, Mrs. Yu is deeply touched. Although she has moved to a different administrative region, the same volunteers will continue to care for her in the days to come. In Malaysia, a medical conference was held at the Tzu Chi Kedah chapter. In addition to learning new things for their jobs, the medical professionals also learn about Tzu Chi's medical culture and hope they can practice medical missions to help more patients in need.
116 medical professionals gather at the Kedah Tzu Chi Jinsu Hall to attend the medical conference. The theme is about medical missions and the ways to pass them down. Dr. Li Qingyi is from Singapore. She hopes to realize Tzu Chi's medical culture and environmental protection in her country.
I will start teaching my colleagues in a hospital and my friends the ways to reduce stress. Most importantly, I will also promote recycling in a hospital.
In the conference, the volunteers invited a doctor specializing in stress management to teach everyone how to overcome job-related stress.
Datang hari ini satu, saya nak dengar benda baru.
The main purpose for my coming here today is to learn new knowledge from Dr. Tzu Chi, to meet Tzu Chi family members, and to improve myself. Whenever I come to a Tzu Chi activity, I can always learn new things.
Whatever charity work that we do, whatever medical assistant work we do, whatever education work we do, always go to humanity.
The medical conference transcends religions and ethnicity, allowing the participants to learn many things. They also hope to practice their medical missions by helping more patients in need in the future.
When foreigners come to Taiwan for medical treatment, they usually face the problems of communicating with doctors. To help foreign patients overcome language barriers, the Kaohsiung Medical University has trained nearly 40 new immigrants to become medical translators. They will become the best helpers for the doctors and foreigners who come to Taiwan to seek medical help.
Tốt lắm. Tiếp theo nào.
做得非常好。
Bạn làm rất là tốt.
The performance on the stage is something they experience in real life. The Vietnamese woman who married a Taiwanese man and Nguyen Phong Thao, who came to Taiwan to study, want to tell everyone about their difficulties in seeking medical attention in Taiwan.
When I went to the dentist and received treatment, I did not know the color of the tooth cap would be different from my original teeth color. He did not inform me about this problem beforehand.
I once encountered a kid who was injured by accident. Because of language barriers, some misunderstanding happened between his family and medical professionals.
Many foreigners in Taiwan encounter the same dilemma of language barriers when they seek medical help on this island.
A language which most people don't speak in English.
Besides medical practices, the most important thing is communication. Through translation, we hope to take better care of each patient.
The relationship between doctors and patients is built through communication. Since Taiwan's medical quality is well known throughout the world, more than 300,000 foreigners come to Taiwan for medical treatments every year. The medical volunteer translators will become the best helpers for doctors and foreigners during medical consultation or any emergency situations. The night the Kaohsiung gas explosion happened, many Tzu Chi volunteers were already prepping for disaster relief. And the next day, volunteers in Kaohsiung held a video conference with Dharma Master Zhen Yan and began their comfort and relief mission. Let's take a look back at the comfort mission Tzu Chi provided.
Five years ago, Tzu Chi volunteers dove headfirst into comforting those affected by the explosion.
We needed to quicken our steps to comfort the victims, so we didn't rest.
脚步都很快，都不停歇的。
有的人走都走不去呀，他们却是越往这个水深火热安那里跑。
Hanging up pictures of Tzu Chi conducting their care missions, this frame store on Kaohsiung Sanduo Road was among the victims of the blast.
Besides roads destroyed, people's spirits were damaged too. When the volunteers that came were mainly those older, it really demonstrated the adaptation of finding confidence in times of trial.
Upon seeing some old friends, Hong Qianyu immediately comes forth to greet them.
At my life's lowest point, she cried with me, laughed with me. It really left a mark on my spirit, in my heart.
When we visit, we just let them express what's being bottled up inside. Our thinking is, if this is our business and we were met with this fate, we'll be upset too.
The night the explosion happened, many volunteers began prepping for relief aid missions. The next day, Dharma Master Zhen Yan in Hualien's Jingse abode held a video conference with those in Kaohsiung.
赶快要把师父的话传达。我们可以尽心力去付出，但是呢，一定要顾好人人的平安与健康。
explosion happened on the night of the 31st. The next day, August 1st, we began delivering hot meals because residents of the affected zone cannot turn on their stove. Our Jinsi Hall became a central kitchen.
To care for affected households, Tzu Chi mobilized their volunteers to the area and set up 9 care and service stations.
In Ruixiang Borough alone, there are over 2,000 households. Volunteers from Taipei and Taichung areas are here. So in total, including our locals here, there are over 1,000 people.
Tzu Chi volunteers from north to south, east to west all came to lend assistance. Besides volunteers lending assistance, Sanxing High School also provided their campus to help, which includes the assistance of students and teachers.
The school is in the hard-hit zone, and I also live nearby, so I'm also a victim too. My impression is that you guys really are the first to a disaster and the first to respond with aid.
It's been 5 years and the disaster zone has been repaired, yet Tzu Chi's selfless giving in the area continues to safeguard all those in need.
Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers have long been caring for a scholarship recipient, Kang Yu, and her younger brother, who lost their parents. Recently, during the summer break, Kang Yu wrote a letter to one of the volunteers saying that she hoped to meet with them. Upon hearing about this, the volunteers immediately came to fulfill her wish.
暑期的时候，职工韩亚辉接到了康宇的新的一封信，他在信中表达了想念我们。 所以才开车将近3个小时，对他们姐弟俩进行新的这样一个关怀。
After 3 months of separation, Kang Yu finally sees Tzu Chi volunteers she has missed dearly. She rushes out of the house to welcome them.
来个拥抱吧！没有人要跟我拥抱吗？哎呀，来吧！
After the passing of their mother, Kang Yu and her younger brother have been raised by their 2 aunts. Fearing of disturbing their lives, the volunteers had not visited them until Kang Yu wrote a letter to one of the volunteers.
We saw Kang Yu and her younger brother smiling and glowing. They have gradually overcome the sorrow of losing their parents, and they have gained confidence in their studies. Seeing the change of Kang Yu and her younger brother, we are also comforted.
Volunteer Han Yahui, who has been in contact with Kang Yu, also brought a special gift.
In the beginning, Dumbo would step on his ears and trip and fall. He put a lot of efforts trying to overcome his obstacles. Finally, he realized he could flap his ears and fly. Later, he also became the star of the circus. So you should keep up the hard work because you can also become a superstar.
After changing into the t-shirts given by the volunteer, Kang Yu and her younger brother beamed with smiles. With the encouragement of volunteers, they also write down their educational goals.
There are still 313 days left until the college entrance examination. I will study hard, trying to get into the college in Beijing.
Having great confidence in herself, coupled with the blessings of volunteers, Kang Yu has been inspired to study hard and strive to enter an ideal college the next year. To help the people in need, Fuzhou Tzu Chi volunteers in China packed 600 sets of new clothes to be given to the Pingtan Psychiatric Hospital. Here's more.
Pingtan Psychiatric Hospital is located in a small village by the sea. Fuzhou Tzu Chi volunteers brought 600 sets of new clothes there for the hospital.
A few years ago, we held 1 or 2 Tzu Chi events at the Pingtan Psychiatric Hospital. With this new opportunity, we are delivering the love from global Tzu Chi volunteers to Pingtan and to the people who need help.
Except for the superintendent of the hospital, everyone else never knew Tzu Chi before, so the volunteers prepare a skit showing everyone the initial aspiration of Tzu Chi's charity mission. The volunteers hope the hospital staff can pass on this goodness forward.
Our doctors and nurses can help a lot of people in their professions. I feel I'm blessed to do this profession, so I'm always lucky to have chosen this profession. Actually, you want to offer help, but you end up gaining a lot in return.
In the area I'm not familiar with, many people are giving of themselves for this world. Through today's activity, I'm more determined in giving my love to psychiatric patients.
Tzu Chi volunteers hope that their donation of clothes can inspire the medical professionals in the hospital to love their patients like their own families.
A little girl from Kedah, Malaysia has gone meat-free since her participation in the Passport for Vegetarian Land campaign as 4 years old. Her compassion for protecting animals has touched her family, inspiring them to embrace vegetarianism with her.
我是陈千宁，我7岁，我是才4年。
The little girl Tan Xuening has gone meat-free for 4 years since her participation in the Passport for Vegetarian Land campaign.
When I traveled to vegetarian land, I learned that going meat-free can save the planet and the animals. I like to eat white broccoli and broccoli the most, and my favorite fruit is strawberry. I don't want to eat eggs because there is chick inside. If we eat eggs, the chick can't come out.
我们吃蛋时候它不可以出来。
This one? Ginger?
Ginger.
My biggest concern is that her nutrition will be uneven because I don't know much about vegetarianism.
Growing children who want to go meatless diet will inevitably worry their parents. But Tan Xueling's firm mind of protecting the animals moved her parents.
动那个。然后。
Hit by that spatula, I feel so painful. Then I think of the animals. They would also feel painful. That's why I want to protect the animals and do not want to eat them.
不要吃它。
一个小孩子都那么坚持了，怎么我们大人做不到嘞？
I have gradually gained some knowledge about vegetarianism. In fact, there are lots of things to replace the nutrition of meat. In the beginning, we respected her to be a vegetarian. Now, it turns out that we all adopt a meatless diet.
我要感恩食台上人和老师。
I would like to thank Dhamma Master Zhen Yan and the teachers for inspiring me to become a vegetarian. I'm also grateful for my parents who cook vegetarian food for me.
因为他煮蔬菜给我吃。
Many people like drinking beverages in Tetra Pak, but these packages are often thrown away as trash afterwards. In fact, Tetra Pak containers are recyclable. Malacca Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia built a simple house with them, educating people about recycling. This is a Tetra Pak, and this is a roof tile. They don't seem to have any connection, but actually they are.
Many people like to purchase Tetra Pak beverage, but 70% of the containers are thrown away as garbage. However, the Tetra Paks are recyclable. After you open the Tetra Pak, you'll notice that 75% of it is paper. There is a transparent plastic film and some aluminum foil. The Tetra Pak is a composite material. If it goes to the landfill, it will not decompose for thousands of years. If burned, it will emit harmful gases too. Therefore, we should think twice before buying them.
Previously, we used to think Tetra Pak were garbage, but now we have realized that they are recyclable, and they can be remade into different things and be sold.
当我们把它喝完时，切记切记。
After we finish drinking it, we must remember to wash it clean, pour it to make it flat like this, and then we will step on it to really flatten it. Then it can go in the recycling bin.
就这么扁，然后就可以拿去回收了。
当这个回收商把这个回收品收回去的时候，还会
After the recycling company takes them back, they will start the disassembly process. They grind them to pieces and soak them in water. Then the paper will sink to the bottom, and the aluminum foil will float to the surface. We can make the paper into these books and the aluminum foil into these pretty baskets.
这也是都是铝箔包制成的。
The aluminum foils can also be made into construction materials.
在中午的时候，太阳是太热的时候，我们进去里面那个。
At noon, when the sun is the hottest, we can walk into this house and notice it's much cooler inside. It guards against the sunlight and is durable. We want people to know that the aluminum in the Tetra Pak can be made into roof tiles and walls.
作物啊，跟这个木板。
In addition to doing recycling, we must also protect the environment from the source. And that is using lesser or even not using any disposable items. We must protect the land with our action. To promote righteous thoughts during the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi volunteers in Cambodia held a blessing ceremony. Besides encouraging people to go vegetarian, the volunteers also passed down the spirits of filial piety.
In preparation for the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi Cambodia Liaison Office held a blessing ceremony. Volunteers will place the sacrificial animals with lanterns and fruits to pay respect to the Buddha. The volunteers play the teachings of Dharma Master Zheng Yan to advocate the notion of not burning joss paper and getting rid of superstition, at the same time encouraging people to embrace vegetarianism.
Every day, or one meal a day, or once a month, or once a week, go on a meatless diet. Doing a vegetarian diet will reduce killings of animals. This is not only good for the animals, but also your health.
This is the 3rd time I came to join Tzu Chi's activities. Every time when I come here, I feel calm in my heart. The volunteer has just said not to kill animals. I think it is right. I really should do it.
Also promoting filial piety in this month, the people are deeply touched by a sutra of profound gratitude toward parents' adaptation.
Learn how they are suffering, and also Tzu Chi are teaching people how to control their feelings and helping other people in need.
I have learned to help others, respect parents, and love each other.
In this auspicious month, volunteers promote righteous thoughts through positive thinking and animal protection through vegetarianism, hoping to encourage more people to protect the earth together.
Tzu Chi Chicago chapter organized summer camps for 34 elementary school students from China, allowing them to learn about Tzu Chi humanistic culture, as well as learn to express gratitude and respect others. We will leave you with these images. Thanks for watching.